The next section on the data entry sheet we're going to deal with is the operating information for hold properties. Now this section is only required where the project involves holding a property for long-term cash flow or growth. If your project does not involve holding a property, then this section can be ignored. In the first part of this section, we've got provision to input the amount of rent we receive on the property. In the columns provided, all we need to do is enter the number of weeks that we expect in a year that the property will be rented, the amount of rent we receive each week, and the percentage of occupancy for this particular property. Similar to the previous section, these titles or these headings can be changed to whatever we want. In the next part, we have a checklist of outgoings for the property. As before, these headings or titles can be changed if necessary, and of course all of the amounts can be changed as they need to be. The management fees can be entered either by an amount, by changing the amount over here and selecting by amount, or entered as a percentage and selecting by percentage. The land tax rate is automatically calculated by the program based on the state that's selected and the statutory valuation that's been entered in the property information section. Further down, we've got a number of other input items such as annual growth percent and consumer price index, and these are used in predicting the growth in rental income and equity growth over a period of 10 years. The property market value when rented is taken from data entered further down the sheet, and this will be covered in a later subject. If the property is new or recently been renovated, then values can be entered for fixtures and fittings and improvement or construction costs, so that depreciation can also be calculated over the 10-year period, and this of course will affect your after-tax income. Up on the right hand side we have a special section called Multiply Values for all hold properties. What this section allows us to do is to enter the income and outgoings for a single property and then have these values automatically multiplied by the number of properties we elect to hold for the long term. Using this feature, we can change the number of properties that we elect to hold without changing any other data and instantly see the effect that this has on our pre-tax and after-tax cash flow. At the bottom of this section, there's also a special area for dealing with properties or projects that involve properties that we already own. In this section, we can enter an acquisition cost, which is essentially the book value of a property that we already own. And we can also enter the amount of borrowings that we've got against that property. When values are entered in this section, it is assumed that the property is already owned, and therefore the pre-purchase costs and the purchase costs should all be set to 0, and a warning message will be issued to that effect. Values are entered in these sections. The pre-purchase costs and purchase costs are ignored, and these values are used in their place. All other aspects of the feasibility study remain exactly the same. It's all of the data entry that's required for operating information on hold properties.